Speck Homes for Boys got started in 1972. John Speck was a local attorney and accountant and took a real big interest in what was happening in the community, especially with youth. And so at that time, he started Speck Homes for Boys. Our original location is 14th and Lincoln. We have 3 houses there. We provide 3 programs out of that location. Over the last years, we've probably served over between 2,500 to 3,000 boys who've been in existence consistently, and working with those young men, getting them back home, back into the community, working, doing different things of that nature in their lives. So that's what we provided, a rally therapy-based, cognitive-based behavioral therapy with the boys. Really, the last 2 years, we started talking with the Department of Human Services about expanding and providing more services. We came in collaboration with them once again, and we were looking for new space. So we began the process of looking into leasing and doing those things, and we eventually found ourselves coming out here to start another new program, taking our population from 36 boys to 52 boys. It's expanding the operation. The original location will still exist, but this is a new expansion, providing service to kids who have been traumatized, and specifically working on that issue for boys between the ages of 13 and 15, 11. Many of the boys who come into our programs have probably spent anywhere from 60 to 80% of their life in custody. Sometimes having their first contact with custody by the time they were age 2. And then after that, find themselves moving through from foster care into different things. And some even have some failed adoptions. So the boys who are coming to us have really had a lot of hard places in their lives. So we're coming in and working with them to work through those hard places so they once again can go to foster care, maybe adoption, and move themselves down the road into less structured environments.
I've been working with Mike and Speck Homes as a commercial real estate broker for probably a year and a half. And we went to Guthrie, went to almost Tuttle, went to several places in Midtown. We're working on a lease that fell through for budgetary reasons on a space that just really was too big for them, and uncovered this location, brought Mike out, said, hey Mike, if this could work, I'd be willing to buy it, finance it, and I think it could be a good fit just because of the land. There's 2.5 acres here, and it gives the kids an opportunity to come out and be in the country, even though they're 5 miles from their existing home. Now granted, Mike just mentioned it's net new to them, so he has maybe a couple of kids that will come from his existing houses. The rest will be coming out of the DHS program in general, so it'll give them a chance to cross-pollinate. But going back to Mike and I looking around, it's just hard to find a place in an area that, one, the community will allow. Well, we don't have residential around here, so it's a perfect location, no objections, unanimous city planning and city council vote. And it just turned into a great location to have these kids out here. The property has 2.5 acres.
What it's going to allow us to do in recreational therapy for the boys, to be able to have a place where they can go out from playing soccer, volleyball, doing recreational therapy activities, have a place where they can go out and just sometime spend a little time by themselves, so where they can just sit back, read, and do those things. Those are the things we'll look at using with that. We'll be able to do our own recreational without even going to a gymnasium. We're also utilizing the garage area in terms of having some weightlifting and punching bags and those things at some time. So it's just going to open up so much more that we can do with this space to give the boys a sense of not being on top of each other and recreational and all those things. At our other location, we're right in the middle of the city. So there's always traffic and those things. What this country environment does, for some of the boys who are coming from the smaller towns, it gives them a sense of, okay, I kind of know what this is, I'm with that. And also gives us to the city, because it's going to give us access to multiple services, linking with other things, far as schools, far as driver's ed, far as all those other things that we need to link these young people into. And so we have a place where we can take them into the city. Then we have a place we can come back out, kind of like in the country, and they can relax and provide therapy for them and those things, and they can kind of feel like, man, I'm not just closed in. One thing is to give us more room. So each bedroom, the boys will have their own individualized closet along with their own bed, so they really be have more space that way. We have set it up to where we really at nighttime, there's 8 boys on the first floor and 8 boys on the second floor. So they're not on top of each other. It gives us the 3 common areas, from having an actual game room to this large area here, and then another common area where they can spread out as they're building relationships with each other. They can kind of have their own little place to congregate. But then also we have a one master place where we all can come together and really work on that family atmosphere. That's why we chose this place. We want this to look like a home, not like a facility, but like a home. So when they come in, they can feel a sense of, hey, I'm really welcome here. I feel like I'm at home. I feel like this is not me being in a hospital or a group home. It's just something totally different for experience for them.
To give a little backstory, the previous owner, we convinced to sell it to us, to me, because of someone in his life that went through DHS on the East Coast. That really opened up the opportunity for them to buy in on the project because they had sentimental value that they wanted to keep it as a restaurant. Love to have another restaurant owner come in, but it really gave a chance for them to buy in and say, hey, this could be a great fit. And I happened to work with someone that was the stepdaughter of the previous owners that ran it as a restaurant for several decades. So they've come out and given stories. That being said, though, it does have history. We've had Mike's church come out and some members from my church pray around it. We probably had 30 or 40 people come out and spend time here. I've seen no paranormal activity, and I've spent hundreds of hours out here over the last 6 months. Personally, it's hype. I think that was part of the selling pitch for the haunted house to keep some memorabilia, but I think it's all good. I think it's a great place for them. It has a lot of oversight to it now that I don't think that's an issue. Haunted with Joy.